ladies and gents. Welcome to another episode of Heapskeen 4x4. This is part 2 from Sundown National Park. And we left you guys last time on Rats Castle Track. This is the other half of Rats Castle Track, and I hope you enjoy. As mentioned last time, there's a few rutted out areas on this track, and this one being on a slight angle. In the dry, it's actually not too bad, it's quite good. But in the wet, there's all the risk of falling over on that right hand side. My suggestion would be that if you are driving this in the wet, probably stay within the ruts. It's a safer option and less chance of rolling. If you watched the first episode, not long after the big creek crossing, you come up to this area. You got 3 options. The easy one off to the left, the centre one which has got a bit of a step up, the right hand side's a pretty big rutted hole. We chose to go the step up. Now on camera this doesn't look too bad, but when you're in the driver's seat and you're looking at the ground and then you're looking at the top of the trees, it's a different feeling, and we've all been there. So this one was a tricky one. The first round we couldn't get up. The second round, the only other thing you could do is give it some more right pedal. That'll get you up. GQ's running a little rough today. That's a bit interesting. Not something you want to be having to deal with when you're out in a place like this.
Now they dug that top layer off, and I'm going to have to try and give it a crack.
There we have Shano and his patrol, getting the job done, showing us all how it's supposed to be done. Good job.
Rats Castle track. It just plain keeps fucking going and going and going. Will's stumbling down the hill to film some mad footage for us. Should be pretty interesting to see because he can barely walk down it. The Triton's already sort of slid down it, and we'll see how the big old patrol goes down it. Tune in.
Now this is a pretty steep descent with a fair bit of ruts. In dry weather, yeah, just low range. We'll get you down the hill, let the car idle down, should be fine. Wet weather though, yeah, I reckon you'd be sliding around a fair bit. But again, it just depends on how keen you are and how far you want to go.
What's it? Get your shoes out of the car before you go vertical down the hill. I can't stop now. I'm jammed up to the pedal.
Couple of clips back, you've probably heard on Shane's big patrol there making some funny noises. Let's hope it's on the CV.
Hey?
Somebody smashed something.
No.
As I've said before, Rats Castle has a lot of variety of river crossings. Now this one here is actually not too bad. It's only about half a wheel deep, but after a rainy season, and you're the type of guy that likes to go through deep water and all that sort of stuff, this place would be great for you. Just a quick fast track forward all the way back to camp, where Shane is going to go over our sleeping quarters for the night, give you guys a bit of an idea, and also Will's going to get our fire started. That's going to be an interesting one, and Dylan's making a mean ass dinner for us. Can't wait.
Nice. That's our Austraila Mitchell swag. Highly recommended by myself. Our roo systems, and you can see on the corners here what the guys are talking about pegging out the sides. It stops them drooping down in the centre. Probably definite must do if you do own one and you camp in them and you find it on your face.
DJ's one looks better.
And over here, DJ's one under the big gazebo. Same sort of deal, don't mind the tree. Very similar deal, he's got tent ropes holding it out, a nice big mattress inside, he's nice and comfy. Obviously we're going to be rocking quite a few sleeping bags tonight. A few rumbos to keep us cool, to keep us warm rather. And of course mine on the stretcher, which I can't recommend stretchers enough. No more rocks in your back, nice and comfy. Just beats sitting on the cold ground all the time. But like I said, you couldn't ask for a better view out of our camp. Straight out the end, straight onto the beautiful Severn River. That's to forgive the shaky cam, I've probably had a rum or two too many. Which is nice and scenic out the sides. And really overall there's next to no one around. We got people down the end there having a nice quiet camp. And same far over the other side of all the trucks. And I'll probably talk about how the trucks are looking a bit later on. Quick note to make, guys, those of you who have seen us throwing all our food on the campfire, Chips make the best fire starters. If you don't believe us, grab a lighter, grab a Dorito, hold a lighter to it and you'll watch it burn up. But someone's been in our fire before because we can see she's still a bit warm, a bit smoky, and we'll get that going a bit later on. I think DJ's going to show us how to light it.
This shamble of timber is going to light.
You know what a bushfire is? A shamble of timber, mate. Can't turn on the
Work
fire.
the trigger slower.
It just doesn't burn.
Isn't it meant to be full of oil?
No, that's if you buy gum leaf bark.
Gum leaves all around your feet.
I didn't buy them.
And we're back. He finally got the fire going.
Got considerably
It was
darker
like
in that
15
time.
minutes.
Through the magic of photography.
Don't kill it with that dirty piece of hardwood. No. There's some hardwood splinters in there.
Yeah, I got dinner cooking.
More fire!
Shane's asking for more fire.
Taking requests now.
And sleeping quarters. All set up, ready to go.
Morning, ladies and gents. I think it's time for some breakfast. We might try and entice DJ out of his swag. We'll be making scrambled eggs this morning. So, to start with, I'm going to need eggs. And a container. Now, we're all a bit hungry this morning, so I'm going to double up on what I normally do. Do 8 eggs for 4 big blokes. Just crack the eggs into the container. Single man's one-handed crack right there. Oh yeah, we'll get to that. I'll get a bit more reviewing on DJ's truck to do a bit later on. We got that 6. Probably best bit of advice I can give you guys when you're off and travelling on the rough and road tracks, don't put your eggs in the fridge. It's a bitch to clean out of your fridge. When they crackle through. Well, I think that's close to 8. Just because I'm a bit of a gourmet cook, a bit of salt and pepper. And again, in case you don't want to fill your fridge with things, I just run a bit of long life milk, which doesn't need refrigerating. So I'm told. You'll find out if I get sick later on. And that's a 1/4 cup of milk for every 4 eggs, so we'll go 1/2 cup of milk here. Do you actually measure it? Believe it or not, I actually measure it. Only thing I think I've ever measured when I cook something, and it's when I make scrambled eggs. I've lost the lid to that.
Oh, I just figured you took it in there.
And, Phil, can you grab the cheese out of my fridge, mate? The best tip, people like to whisk, people like to use a fork and make a mess. I like to use a container and just shake the crap out of it. If you've got an old pancake container, they work even better. Or even better, you crack your milks into the egg, into the milk container. Just give it a good shake and mix it up. Cheese. So open that up. You see it's all nice and mixed through. You've got that good consistency and no runny bits of white in it. Because I'm a healthy kind of guy, I like to fill it with cheese. Do this, whatever you got. Alrighty, thanks to the magic of television. We've now got scrambled eggs. In the meantime, we're throwing a fair bit of bacon into the Weber and cooking away. We should have a nice hearty meal. So we'll get the bread going and we'll enjoy some breakfast. And we'll see you guys out on the track next up. I'm going. Alrighty guys, figure I'll take some time while we're all packing up to show you over one of the trucks, DJ's Triton. I guess to start with up the front, it's running a steel ARB bull bar with a 12,000 pound winch under it. 30-inch light bar, which nicely nestles in at the front there. This one's an 09 ML Triton, so it's got the 3.2 turbo diesel with a 3-inch exhaust and a bit of a tune, so it sounds quite tough, as I'm sure you hear on the video. He's got 2-inch suspension lift with a 1-inch body lift, remote resi shocks, so she's a bit fancy underneath. Set of 33-inch Bridgestone jeweler all-terrains, which keep it sitting nice and tall. Set of sliders, which were custom made by DJ. Yeah, custom made sliders that they're taking a bit of a popping while we go out on road, and they go pretty well. Around the back, finish off the outside. He's got a custom made canopy that was made from a sports bar from an MN Triton, so the newer Triton. On the top, you can't see it at the moment because it's covered in stuff, but there's a 100-watt solar panel there that makes up the roof of the canopy. And toolbox in the back with the compressor, the batteries, the recovery gear, and all the rest of the gear. I'll quickly show you his inside. He's running a GME, UHF, extra doof, I think it's a Kenwood sound system. And up the back he's actually got a half roll cage because this was an ex-Lions car, so she's a bit fancy, a bit rougher and tougher than your average IFS truck. And oh, should mention also, sorry, factory locker as well in the rear. And yeah, she's quite tough, follows us everywhere we go in the patrols, and probably shows us a thing or two really. So if you've got an IFS truck, they can be built tough. And yeah, does really well. Back to you.
You would think a nice simple hill to drive up, but this is the last thing you want to hear.
Alrighty guys, so Nato's having a bit of trouble with his car. We got up the top of the big hill, and now she, did it stall?
Yeah, it stalled on its own actually.
Stalled on its own, now it won't start. It's a manual, so, sorry, it's an auto, so that makes it even more interesting because you wouldn't be able to roll start it even if you could. But it doesn't sound like it's electrical. Oh, sorry, it doesn't sound like it's a battery. I'm starting to think I should think about what I'm saying before I say it. Inside the big TB42, still looks like an engine, so that's a good sign. I guess the first thing that we should really mention is you don't have to be a mechanic. I should mention Nathan and I both are mechanics, but you don't have to be a mechanic, you just got to know your truck. So Nato's recently had some trouble with spark plugs, coils. His leads look dirty. The DZ cap's still there.
That's neat.
Coil's still there. I think he just needs good old 1-2 tap, and then she'll start. If that works for camera, I'm claiming it.
Take the coil lead off and see if it arcs out on something.
Oh, fuck.
What?
Bring that camera up here.
I'm thinking there's something bad going on.
Through the magics of film, this will now magically be fixed by the time you tune back in, and Will's going to head up the hill and show you the view that we found.
Just get a load of that view, guys. I must say, it's the best place to be broken down. I wouldn't have chosen a better place, to be honest.
Oh, well, for those watching, obviously the GQ shit itself. I'm thinking it's electrical, no spark. We're just going to get off the track because there's a couple other people coming up. So I'll tie her down the hill a little bit, get her out of the way, and see if we can't get it going. Hopefully we can pilfer something off my truck to get it going.
Hey guys, well, the GQ still hasn't started. I do have DJ and Shano towing me down the hill. Shane's becoming my brake, and Dylan's becoming my acceleration, I suppose we could say. It's a very slow ride out of here. Now, this was already a slow trip in when all vehicles were running. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Hopefully we can get into Stanthorpe and source out a new coil. Yeah, we'll go from there. I'll keep you posted. There you have it, ladies and gents. That's the wrap up of part 2 of Sundown National Park, filmed by Heapskeen 4x4. Hope you've enjoyed. Yes, the old Mighty Patrol did have to get towed out. Unfortunately, it was from a part that was fitted new to begin with before we went out and failed. So, replaced the part. She works perfectly fine. Couldn't get out there without the help of Shane and Dylan pushing their trucks to the absolute limit. And again, have to for the weight of this thing. Also, I'd like to remind you guys, leave a like, leave a comment, and also hit that subscribe button, and you'll be up to date with some more shows and little clips on repairs and other little mini trips that we do as well. Alright, catch you out on the tracks.